We are in nickel 3-3 odd. This is out of the Minnesota Vikings playbook. So this is a universal defense that you can use to stop both the run and the pass. What I like to do here is I like to substitute people away. Hold on, let me make sure I'm not just in normal formation. Okay. So what I like to do here is substitute Van Ginkel. So at the two, I guess you would call them in this game. They're like interior rushers, kind of like your 3-4 end style defensive ends. Well, actually here we're gonna go with speed because occasionally these guys are gonna be dropping into zone, and I don't like having slow people out there in coverage. So I'm gonna put my basically my best pass rushers. So this guy here on the end, this edge player, I don't necessarily want my best pass rusher here. I want my most versatile, most athletic style pass rusher. So someone who can pass rush, because occasionally he will just be pass rushing. So there I'm gonna put. I think I already did it, but so Dallas Turner, he has 90 speed. I don't, it just depends on your team. This is not specifically for the Vikings, but if I was using the Vikings, I'd basically just put my most athletic guy there, and someone who can do a little bit of pass rushing. Sometimes that is, in some cases that's like a Micah Parsons who can drop back and cover. But these two at the kind of 3-4 end, these are going to be your main. These guys are going to be pass rushing the most. But you want some speed there because they're going to occasionally be dropping to zone. And here we want our best D tackle, like power guy, someone who can occupy double teams, who can break double teams, so power rusher. Yeah, and he's going to be important in clogging the run. Here at your linebackers, it's the same as always. You just want you want your most athletic cover guys here. Sometimes that can be safeties. In this case, I think I'm okay with just using who we've got here. And yeah, so our safeties, everything else is just kind of however you like to set up your DBs. You could, if you wanted to treat, because ideally how we like to think of 3-3 odd is it's basically like 3-4 odd, but instead of a extra linebacker, you have a DB, right? So you could, if you really wanted to have more like power here, you could, if you've got like another good coverage safety. So I'm thinking the likes of like a Honey Badger, a Minka Fitzpatrick, someone who's really stout against the run, but also can coverage, like a Kyle Hamilton. I might even put him there, but someone who can like cover in man as well. So it's this nickel spot. You almost want to think it as like as another linebacker, but it doesn't. That's not necessarily important. It's nice to have. It's not necessary. You can run this with like any corner, but ideally, if you really wanted to, really get the most out of this, like as a run stopping defense, then I would think of this as like the other edge linebacker in a 3-4. So you'd want someone who's like kind of like a hybrid. But in this case, I'm okay. I'm okay with Byron Murphy in this situation, or really any nickel will do. So that's it for the formation. Let's talk about the plays. Give me a second. Okay, so we're basing out of 3-4. Sorry, we're basing out of the base play for this. So we can even just set up with audibles. So for the audibles, so let's maybe put palms, and then I like cover 6, and instead of this Tampa 2, oh no, that's what I want to do. Okay, so let's go with which one do I like more? So I was gonna run 0 like a blitz. So this will be, oh sorry. Our blitz will be hot. Which one is it? Oh my god. Our blitz will be this one. Our hot blitz bail. That's our that is our kind of like, that's like the equivalent of our like cover 0. You know, we're just sending the house and we're keeping everything in front of us. For I like to have like a cover 3 style play here. So the only one I really like, do we have the, we do have the Buzz Mabel. I'll go ahead and put that there, and instead of this Tampa 2, we're gonna go with the more coverage style Tampa 2, which is this. So most of the time we're coming out in cover 4 drop. So we're basing everything out of cover 4 drop, and you see that's why I like that linebacker, this edge player. So we'll just go ahead and pick a play. I'm going to go ahead and just pick random run play for this one. Let's go concept, and I'm going to go random run. Okay. So, so you see here we have our nickel. So our nickel, also maybe I want to set up my, actually let me go back. Let's set up the spacing. So this is more preference, so you don't have to do this. You can also set up your shell. You can always, you can if you really want to disguise it every time, you can do cover 4, a cover 4 shell. But here, what I'd like to do is always keep my safeties width pretty close. Pinch, is it pinch? Yeah, like pinch. I'm not going to mess with the midpoint too much. And the depth, I'm going, for now, I'm going to go with tight? Tight is crazy. Close is fine. I like close. Again, I'm using 2 controllers, so bear with me. Personnel, sorry. Concept, play type. Is it play type? Yeah, random. Okay, so, again, so let's go back to this play. So here, we're basing out of this formation. So you see how we have this line, this is that edge linebacker. And then this is the corner. So if you really looked at this, this basically looks like a 3-4 odd, and that's why they call it 3-3 odd. So really, when we coming out of this, our idea is we want to first stop the run, because if your opponent can run the ball on you, the philosophy for this defense is to keep them, to minimize yards in the run, and minimize yards in certain areas of the field. So we're going to be conceding to them the short flat area. So that's why I generally don't like using hard flats. I like the idea of forcing my opponent to just kind of keep throwing to the short flat area. And then occasionally trapping it as an adjustment. So I don't like to start off with hard flats. I don't see too much of the point of that. I like to keep the integrity of my defense as strong as possible. Next, I don't want them throwing in the seams, so that's why I don't like basing out of cover 3. And that's why I don't run too much cover 3 unless I'm using like pressure or something. Yeah, so the idea is I want to protect the seams. I want to concede the short flat, because if you really think about it, you're getting maybe a few yards. Usually the pass angle isn't great. It's the longest short throw, and you have the sideline as the 12th defender. So that's the idea with coming out in this. And I don't have the match, because I generally I like match, but generally match sometimes, you know, it sometimes the reaction time of defenders in match isn't great. So I like to use match situationally, but I like to start in spot drop and force my opponent to basically make accurate throws and reads. Yeah, so that's enough preamble. So the way I like to start this is I always like to have a 4-man rush. So I'm actually gonna. So the way this is set up, right? You can't see it now. Maybe you can't see my play art. You know that's because of Madden. But I'm basically crashing my line down. So he's basically blitzing right now. You can't see it. I don't know why. It's so annoying. I'm crashing my line down, and then I'm gonna user this linebacker. So if your corner, the linebacker away from the corner. So basically the weak side linebacker, you could say, in regards to the passing strength. And then I'm gonna. Oh my God, nothing's working. What the hell? It's like my controller's frozen. But essentially, I have everyone like baseline. So this, if we look at the run fits, basically we're gonna force them to bounce the ball outside. So we're gonna do this, and we could slant them to the right. Really, I just want to get my linebacker blitzing. Finally, it's showing it. I can't believe this. Yeah, so let's go ahead and run the play. And then, of course, I get picked up. So that's on me. Caused a fumble. Okay. Alright, now it's showing it. I would actually do something like this. Or, you know what? Let's go back. And then we'll just... You can just manually blitz these guys, because I don't like... Yeah, I like that better. I don't like them crashing down like that. And then, so basically, in run, I'm basically trying to kind of cut back, but I've already got this edge player who should be helping me to keep the run inside, but I'm like the spill. I'm trying to spill the run. We're trying to spill the run here. So, yeah, okay. Oh my God. Just be a little bit more athletic than me. Okay, so we spread. Can crash him out. You can do whatever. We know the run's going to the right. So basically, in run, my responsibility is basically first this gap, and then this gap, and then just basically move across the field. Basically follow the running back. Okay? Overshot, but yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Yep. So show blitz, crash line out, show blitz, and your responsibility is to go from gap to gap. So here, so we most likely, because it's a shotgun run, you can tell that he's probably going to the left. But always just follow the running back. And we can shoot the hole. I'll just go into replay just to give you an idea. So I shoot, and we still have we have our nickel. We have our nickel coming in, helping to force it, and then our safety is gonna help clean this up, and that's Harry Hitman. But yeah, so extremely sound against the pass as well. I mean, there are ways to beat cover 4 deep, but we want to force our opponent to actually do that. We trust that our pass rush and our blitzing will discourage them from kind of throwing any of these like coverage bombs, it's actually real. I think out of all defenses, cover 4 drop is probably the hardest to bomb, to just like one play touchdown bomb. Yeah, it's the hardest one besides cover 2. Cover 2 is actually the hardest one to bomb the deep middle, because those safeties now, they drop back so deep so that even if they catch it, they're most likely not gonna score a touchdown, because the safety will make a play. You might be able to complete it for like 30-40 yards. So you can still make big plays on cover 2, but you can't make those same big plays on like cover 4, while also you're able to stop some of those really big shot plays. And I might even try to demonstrate them, because I know some. just that I've created on my own. But yeah, so that's the idea. You follow the running back, don't overcommit, strafe, 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 right? Because this running back could have cut it back, right? They could have cut it back, but you know, obviously you're gonna have he's gonna be there. Yeah, so and just make the play in the backfield. And now they'd be on second and long, third and long. That's the idea. Oh, I hate when the play art's like it's like just assume that's wrong. That's not right. So that play art. So we're gonna head show blitz again. We can move our safety over if we want. Yeah. So then I'm just gonna. I also like to keep him in the box. So okay, now it's showing. All right, so let's go ahead and okay. So don't overcommit. Do not overcommit. Also with this defense, we want to make the quarterback run the ball. So I'm okay with the quarterback keeping it if it was like read option. So right now I'm using 2 controllers, so I can't really simulate. Generally, and in my experience, I haven't seen too many QBs keep the ball on read options. Like sometimes they will try and they might get 20 yards. I like to adjust to that. Like I like to try to adjust to things rather than trying to like preempt or stop anything, because I want to be extremely sound against the run. I want them to do the thing right, because if they keep it with the QB, there's a chance I get a fumble. So I do actually kind of want the quarterback to handle the ball. So the idea with when you're playing defense is you want to play things and you want to try to get things in your favor as much as possible. So here our slot is actually able to kind of get in there. I should probably try to show this against RPO. Yeah, so even if he beat this guy, he's coming over. He's in good position. Our corner will be there to clean up. And I mean, occasionally maybe they get lucky and they bounce it out. But 9 times out of 10, there's not really much you can do against this. So now they're in 2x2, so they've got a tight end on the field, and we've got a nickel, but it doesn't matter. 2x2, we're trying to be balanced, so you see we've got everything's kind of symmetrical. If I just drew a line in the middle, our nose tackle's in the middle, so we've got a numbers advantage. We got four in the box over here, 4 in the box over here, and this guy is 2 gapping. So no matter which way the run goes, he's going to be playing it. So in this case, I'm going to be making sure if it was a pass, again, my responsibility is to, essentially, I'm going to be conceding the weak side flat, or just the flat on my side, because I believe I can react to that faster. I'm also okay with that. This defense gives me the freedom to kind of like do whatever I want with this linebacker, so I can just like jump out there. Yeah. Also, what I like about this defense is being able to kind of like flip the strength. So if the offense is seems to be passing things over to the right side, then I'll just blitz this linebacker. This corner, and then just control this side, because I know that the routes are not developing on this side of the field as much. So I don't like my defender just kind of defending air. I'd rather him at least be going after the quarterback on the backside. So I'll go ahead and just show that here, and he'll be better against the run for it as well. Okay, just like that, he's making a play in the backfield. So we're 2x2, so I might even just move the linebackers. So with this formation, I don't like to move the linebackers to the right, because then that happens, which is okay. Like there's some things you can do with this, like if I go like this, right, you can get this kind of like looping kind of action. So maybe I'll just show what that looks like. You can even crash the line to the right. Crash the line to the right. Come on, Madden. But yeah, you see, you can crash the line to the. Sorry, crash it down. Okay, And you can do something like that, and you can get this like looping kind of thing, which is it can be interesting. It's an interesting, but then you can't like show blitz. I don't like that too much. So that's why sometimes I like to just manually move them down. It doesn't really, and then with the advent of the switch stick, you still get like, you can still always like, you know, if just say they snap in, you're caught on this guy. Even if you're caught on this guy, it's not really the end of the world because, yeah, it's not really the end of the world if you're like caught on any of these people because you can always just switch stick to the person you want anyway. Which I don't use too much of this. I don't really use the switch stick too much. I probably should, but yeah. Anyways, back to this. Okay. Nothing. There's not really much there. Go ahead. And then in this case, I would just like move over a step to the right because we've got the strong side of the run is towards the running back, towards the tight ends. But you know, with shotgun runs, they're most likely going to be running it to the left. So we can go like that. Just crash line left. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Show blitz. Get you guys in there. And then, oh, see, that's why. And that is what. That's what I like about the Cardinals playbook. Actually, I'm actually on. It'll be linked in the video, but I have a. I'm basically developing or I've already kind of developed a Cardinals running scheme. So we can just go to the right. And this is why I like to, like, you know, align my defense to the strength of the run. I mean, even then I kind of, I went that way, keep cheating it, right? And that's how you get in trouble, right? So here, now they have the number, they have because I went this way, they have the numbers to the right, right? Because now that you're running with the quarterback, he's now an extra blocker, right? So if he bounces this outside, then that's when we get in trouble, right? But I do want them to bounce it out, right? So like an adjustment, let's just say they're doing a lot of that. An adjustment is maybe not even to pinch them, is just to crash them left or crash them right. I'll just crash to the side of the run. Yeah, and then I'm over here. Ooh, what happened? What happened? Where's our safety? What happened? Let's see. Okay. So okay. Ooh, he got blocked. And then, yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing about having your safety so close in the box is that if they miss, they're out of position to recover. So sometimes it actually doesn't hurt to just keep them back there, keep them where they are, and then just bring them up, just bring them up a smidge. But yeah, that's why I like to pinch my line and force them. But like just for the demonstration, we can just crash them to the right. So if they run the ball to the outside, then our defenders are in a little bit better position. To like, you know, to set the edge, essentially. We're gonna crash right again. Actually show blitz. I'm gonna keep showing blitz. I like to do this until they force me. Okay. Yep. Force them to head it back into your quarter. Again, show blitz. One thing that also helps is to keep your linebackers behind the defensive lineman if you can. That's just like a quick thing, just so that it's harder for those double teams to get to your linebackers. And that's why it helps to have like really you know, athletes here, people with some speed. Ideally you want to use linebackers and not like safeties, because safeties can get pancaked really easily. Yeah, so go ahead. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. Make them do that kind of stuff, right? That's what we want, right? That is exactly what we want. So we're gonna go ahead and crash. We're actually gonna crash away, and then I'm just gonna go like this. All right. Oh, come on, guys. Right, there we go. All right, and you can see you're not really getting any yards here. So he's in the gap, so he can't really cut. He can't really cut back. He has to follow his blocks to the outside. And that's again, that's why I don't like sometimes I don't like having my safety so close, because that's the trade-off, right? So let's try and do it without them in the box like that, because they'll still be able to make plays. They won't trigger as fast to the run. So here I'm just gonna go ahead 2 by 2. I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of spread them out. Oh, we're slow. That's why. That's not good. We don't like that. We don't like being slow. Come on. Gotta make that play. I bump into my guy. Did I show blitz here? I showed blitz out of habit. Let's do it without showing blitz, actually. Yeah, I'm doing it out of habit. That's what we want. Force them to matriculate the ball slowly and methodically. Let's see if they can be disciplined. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that's the thing about read option. Sometimes you want to defend that. You want to defend that read option. But this is HB draw. This is what I like about HB draw especially against like zone, like, you know, drop 8 style defenses, zone defenses. Yeah, you can get these like really nice lanes. HB draw didn't used to be really that great for the longest time, but in this game I found that HB draw is actually pretty good run play. So here we get lucky and we get a nice little shed, and that's why you want your elite kind of pass rush guys there, because block shed is block shed. Even if he got pushed up the field a few yards, he's able to kind of like limit the amount of yards his play gains, right? He runs 5 yards without getting touched, and then he gains maybe 4, which is, you know, not ideal, but as long as they're not getting like, you know, 6-7 yards a run, we're fine. We're fine with them getting 4 here and there, because occasionally we are going to get them in the backfield. Okay, so we're on here again. Probably shouldn't be doing that. Let's just press them for now. Maybe on like short yardage downs, we would bring the safeties up, just to really secure that. Okay. Back. Oh, why are we overplaying that? What happened there? What happened? What are we doing? Okay, so we get basically counter. So counter out of trips. What is my safety doing? Oh, maybe it's my run fit was all off. Okay. Sometimes when you do stuff like when you slant the line, you're changing the run fit. So here I'm responsible for that gap. So yeah, yeah, that was just a weird play. Don't like that. Okay, so he gets picked. I mean, that's the great thing about power runs. Like, for the longest, people didn't run too much power in Madden, but now power is back with like duo and these counters, and it's because these guards are a lot more intelligent in how they pick who to hit when they pull. So the pulling linemen are a lot more smart. Here, come on, better pursuit. What are you doing, my guy? Like you are the fill. Like this guy should be you know, killing this right here. Yeah. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. maybe it's on me because I'm expecting the other safety to also kind of come across. So really, I didn't really do anything wrong here. Like I played this about as well as you could play it. Like because my backside, like it's kind of like, where's my backside linebacker? Yeah, I mean it's just a good run, just a good run. Maybe that's why we should just crash down. Yeah, now I think about it, maybe just crashing down is the goal here. Yeah, so we do want to keep it. Sometimes it actually doesn't hurt for them to also like force them to push the ball back in. So we're gonna here. I'm gonna spread the line. Okay. Okay. I'm bringing it back. Let's see. Go ahead and run that. Okay. Oh, what are you doing? Yeah, these are really good runs. These are some really good runs. So, I mean, when you see that motion, I like when you see a guy in motion like this, just start cheating over a little bit. Maybe I should have cheat him, move him over or something, because that cannot happen, right? Like that guy, he's setting. Yeah, we can't have that. Maybe that's why it's showing blitz is important. Show blitz. Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna show blitz from now on, until they force me not to. Okay. Go ahead. Gotta make that play. Gotta make that play. Okay. Here, show blitz. Crash down. Show blitz. That's fine. Okay. We can even spread. Show blitz. Maybe even move these guys over a little bit. Alright. Spread line. We can spread line. Here, I would actually pinch. Crash down. Show blitz. I mean, this formation, I'd be playing a different coverage. I'd be maybe like more like a soft squat here. Yeah, because this is more of like goal line, so I'd be expecting. I'd probably be like, we want to stop that. We don't want to give them any yards on these goal line plays. Force them to pass the ball if they're in goal line. Okay. There it is. Let's go. Okay, there we are. Right. Okay. I think I'll show a few more. That's the great thing about being that backside backer, right? Especially if you're on the weak side, right? Because we have 3-by-1. The strong side of the formation, we've got our coverage is pretty set, and then we're basically conceding this kind of weak flat area, and that's basically my responsibility. So if they decide to do something like I don't know, if they decide to do something like some kind of like RPO, I can be like a RPO slant. I can play that pretty aggressively and still be, and because our line is pinched, and it's not going to be very easy to run the ball, because when a player picks RPO, they're generally trying to pass the ball. So you want to take away the easy things. Like passing the ball is a lot easier in RPO than running the ball. So you want to take away the RPO. But with like read option, like having the QB keep the ball sometimes is in our favor, because the QB generally has lower ball carrying stats. Yeah. So, and if you're playing like a franchise or something, then they're more going to be more prone to get injured, especially in this year's game, I believe, with like all this like fatigue stuff. I mean, you don't see it in MUT, but yeah. So I'm going to show one more, and then we'll just get into yeah, we'll just keep it standard. Actually, we're just going to do this. There, actually able to make a play. That was really good play by me, actually. So this is why you want to track the running back. You don't want to fit too quickly. You don't want to fit the run too quickly, right? So you don't want to just like dive into this gap here. You want to just kind of flow to the ball. Like, yeah, and you just do the best you can. You might get caught in the wash here. But if it doesn't look like an obvious toss, then you should be trying to, like, let's see if I can. I don't like that this thing keeps tracking, but like you can see, I'll just point it out with like in post. But essentially, you want to be hitting these gaps in the line. All right, so we've got a gap right there. And then he doesn't really come in there, but I'm sprinting. So that's another thing I need to work on, is like not sprinting too much. Because then, if he cuts, then I can't like dive. I'll just overrun the play. But in this case, I was able to make a play, and now it'd be like second and, let's say they got like 4 yards on first down. Now they're on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 or something, right? They've lost about 2 yards. So they'd be like on 2nd and, let's say, so they were on 2nd and 6, they lost 2 yards. So they're like, yeah, 3rd and 8. So, yeah, so that's the idea. You want to, because the idea with this defense is that we're conceding the flat, but we're being so stout against the run that occasionally they're going to lose yards, so that throwing to the flat continuously is not a sustainable strategy. Also, offenses want to throw those big, especially in Madden. Madden players aren't that patient. They want to throw those big crossing routes and those flood patterns. And we're just going to say no. We're just going to say no to that. We're going to be disciplined, and we're going to force them to throw the ball short and to the flat. But we will have adjustments out of it. Like, don't worry, we're gonna have adjustments to that. There are ways to handle those throws. We just handle it situationally. Their running back can have like 12 catches for 60 yards. If they're, let's say they have a Calvin Johnson, they don't want to throw to their running back 12 times in a MUT game, right? So and that's what we're doing. We're forcing them to do something most players don't want to do. Now, if they have a Christian McCaffrey and that's their game plan, and that's like then that's a different thing. And that's maybe more if like you're playing a franchise and you know like this player, you got like a little bit of scouting report, then you situationally change it up, what you do before the game. But if you're playing just randoms online, then yeah, we're gonna force them to throw the flat, and then we'll react to it in post. Okay, last one. Okay, here I was able to flow to the ball. He doesn't dive in immediately, so I just keep running because I basically I'm backside, so I basically trust that that nothing is gonna really cut back. And I also have, and that's what I like about cover 4 drop, or any cover, any quarters, is that you always have this like backside, like you're not, as the linebacker, you're not like the only cutback player. Like you've got the safety and the corner who can, like, if you overrun the play, trying to stop it, then you still have a safety who can, and he gets pancaked here. And that's why I don't like putting safeties in the box. I just like having athletic linebackers, as opposed to like having safeties in the box. They just get pancaked. They're just too small. Generally their impact block isn't good. So that's why having a linebacker, so someone like a Peyton Wilson, who's like 6'4" and can jump out the building, Terrell Edmonds, I think Ivan Pace is pretty athletic. Not in MUT, but I'm trying to think. Akeem Gaither on the Cardinals. He's like anyone who was like a former safety in college who's now a linebacker. That's who's like now an official linebacker in the depth chart. That's who you want. Like a Divine Diablo, like those kinds of guys that's who you want as a linebacker, because their coverage stats don't matter as much because you're going to be using them most of the time. They're not going to be in man coverage all that often, and usually they're going to be blitzing. So their speed and their hit power, that's way more important than their coverage stats. So that's why I still like using traditional linebackers. I know a lot of people in Madden like to put safeties there because they're easier to user, but if you have a good enough fundamentals and you know what you're doing, then you shouldn't really need a godly, quick, twitchy user. You just need a linebacker who can fly the ball, especially if we're trying to stop the run, right? We're trying to force them to pass the ball. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get into some passes. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't know how I'm going to show this. I might actually have to have the computer. I might actually have to switch. Okay, there you go. And again, I'm not using hard flats. I don't care if you complete that ball, right? I don't care if you complete that ball. My safety's coming over and he's going to fill that. Another thing I might do, right, to improve that a little bit better, if let's just say in this case they're on the strong side, yeah, I'm definitely not worried about them. I might even go man. I might no, oh god, messing things up. Oh my god, man coverage. Yeah, there you go. I might just man him up. Oh my god, my controller. I gotta fix my controller. But yeah, I might man him up there, and yeah, since it's solo side, and then I'm just gonna be extra aggressive, making sure I carry any. If I say any deep crosser, then I'm just gonna take it, and if he throws to the flat like on a drag, then I'll just be really quick to react to it. Yeah. So let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Computer. Okay. In this case, it's on the screen. Fine. All right. Now, if they're throwing screens, we can always man up the running back with someone. We can even do something like that. Oh my god. All right. Do that. If they're really just throwing the flat like that, then I might do something like that and just do like a 3-man rush. And now the QB, I'm gonna dare the QB to run, essentially. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to give. I don't want to give up that though. I don't want to give up that too often. So here I might actually switch my. I might in this case switch my curl my hook zones to 5 yards, but one thing I like to do instead is I like to coverage down and then do that. So I like to show basically what is it, underneath, coverage adjustment underneath, and then curl flat. So on PS2 or sorry, on PS2. On PS5, it's triangle, triangle. Sorry, it's triangle. So you just bring up your coverage adjustments with triangle, and you just go underneath, and then I just quickly do that. That's one thing you can do. You can also just set these to like 5 yards, because you already know that these guys are they're gonna be pretty aggressive. They're gonna be good over the top, so you don't have to. You don't need this guy to sink back so deep. So we'll go with that. Okay. Again, force him to throw it to the strong side. All right. Okay. Again. Okay, so coverage adjustment down and then curl flat again, because I really don't like hard flats. It's just like instead, because now you can run a curl, you can run a slant. Like I want to force you to throw to flat. You have to throw to flat against me. Okay. Okay. And then I rally. It's fine. You have that. You have that. All right, and then I would just adjust. Maybe I'd actually put him in a curl, and maybe, and then something like that. So go ahead. Now I'm usering here. So now I'm extra aggressive in the seam. Okay. Okay. He ran. Okay. So if he's running, then I'm going to be like... And this is why I want an athletic... Not my primary pass rusher, but someone who can... Someone who can get after the quarterback, who can handle... I don't like contains, because contains... These guys aren't pass rushing. That's one thing. And then two, there's just too many lanes for the QB to step up. So I like a spy, and the great thing about spy is it also acts as like this kind of like low hole defender in a sense. They're gonna be quick. For one, they're gonna be coming this way, right? So if you have a drag coming in this area, then they're going to be kind of like underneath it, and sometimes they can like even interfere with the timing of the drag because they kind of bump the player. The receiver has to go around it. Yeah, so there's a lot of advantages to having a spy, and in that case I like to just kind of do something like this, so that it forces the defense to okay. We don't want to chase that crosser too much, so the mistake I made here was kind of carrying that too much, right? And that has to do with like the fact that I think this linebacker is going to go up the field too much. So I'm actually going to switch my hooks to 5. Yeah, we're going to make our hooks instead of just do 5. And then back to my base, before drop, and then concept, any pass play type, any pass play is fine. Random pass. There you go. Okay. Okay, so we know with Kyler, he's going to want to scramble, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And then I might even do something like this, just to make it give my, because there's some logic that, oh my god, what is this? Is that linebacker too slow? Hold on. Depth chart, I want to see, just want to check something. Sub linebacker. I haven't paid, oh no, 87 is plenty of speed. Seems so, kind of feels slow. Okay, crash up. Okay. Alright, we can do something like this. Okay. There you go. Alright, nothing. Alright, we can do this again. We can show blitz this time. Because it's 2x2, let's say I know that they're going to be throwing like flood against me. Like that's the thing about these 2x2s, like, you know, certain things they're going to do is like bench like an out route in a corner. So we want to force them to throw something else in that situation. I you know, 2x2, I just know what teams like to do, what players like to do in like these 2x2 compressed sets. So I do want to take away that. If I know for certain that they're gonna throw that, then yeah, I'll go ahead, because there's no point in like him being in a curl flat in this situation, because my corner, he's gonna be pretty good at reacting to any corner route. So I just want him to take away, you know, to be more aggressive against the, let's just say like a drag or or you know, anything kind of short in the flat area, like an out route or a hitch or whatever. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and go with this. Okay. All right. So I played that like you know, just like it's real life. Like I don't know the play. I don't know it's. All I know is that they came out in that formation, so that's why I kind of reacted that way. Just okay. I like that. I like that he didn't. And that's the thing about the curl flat. That's what I like about just default curl flats, is that sometimes they'll react to those regardless. And that's all you can ask for. Tight coverage. Yeah. That's all you can ask for. And sometimes in this situation, it might not hurt to have your best corner at that slot position as well, because they're going to be hitting people underneath a lot, so their zone ratings will help. Because these guys are mostly going to be playing outside and deep. Their ratings aren't going to be super important, because the most important rating for them is just speed. Whereas like this guy, he's underneath. He's basically, his zone ratings are going to be very important. The only thing is that I'm going to be sending this guy on blitzes as well, so it's a trade-off of, like, you know, who do you want at that slot? You know, do you want someone who's blitzing all the time, with their high zone rating, like like your best corner? Do you want your best corner blitzing, or do you want your best corner in coverage? So it's just like that trade-off. Okay, let's see what else. Let's just do a few more reps and we'll move on. Again, sometimes I might spy. Actually, I'm not gonna say I won't spy. Like sometimes I like. I mean, sorry, I might contain here, right? So I might something like this. Go ahead. Yeah, that's why I don't like QB contain. That's the only thing about 3-3 odd, is it's kind of bugged. It'll do things like that, so I don't like to move my linebackers at all or anything. Okay. Everything's locked. Okay, let's do another one. Get another one. Make sure that wasn't a fluke. Right, go ahead and show blitz. Okay. That's what we want. That's what we want. Again. Show blitz. Actually. There we go. We're here. Go ahead. It's fine. It's fine. That's okay. We're okay with that. That is a lot of yards. I won't lie, but I'd rather give up. I'd rather force them to do that throw than their deep crossers. That's just like how I like to play defense. Okay. Okay. Play fake. Okay. Fine. There it is. Okay. Now, if I am getting like cooked in the flat, like if it's getting like a little unbearable, I might now just put a flat there, and I might start usering this guy. I'll just be like a little bit more aggressive here. But I do want this 4-man rush. I hate 3-man rushes, because if I'm doing 3-man rush, I know that the clock, he's gonna have more time in the pocket to find people. I don't want that. So I'll maybe do something like that, like a spy or something, just so that he can't like run, or he can't like find a double team and scramble. I'll have my, basically, you know, this guy's got like 90 speed. He can, like, you know, track him down. So go ahead. You can even try this. Okay. I just have to make sure. Yep, that's what we want. Good. We're doing good. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put him, and we'll go hard flat here because it's 2x2, and then I'm just going to come down and crash on anything over the middle. I'm going to integrity. Yeah, see, that's where I messed up. That's why it's better to strafe. it's kind of like, where am I going, right? I'm following the run because I'm like, okay, this might be a run. But yeah, that's the thing about play action, is gonna move you out of position. Yeah, so I just have to be a little bit more cognizant, right? Because I am playing this like with the assumption that I might be on passing downs. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Go ahead. One more. We'll just do one more. We'll go ahead and do this. We're 3-by-1. So and it just depends. So if our opponent, so this is where we start to make some adjustments, right? So if our opponent is, and I'll take back control just to explain what I'm talking about. But essentially, there are certain things that are gonna, like, kill spot drop. One of them is like flood. One of them is like levels, like concept spacing. Like, there's so many ways to attack spot drop concepts. Spot drop zone coverages. Oh god. I'll tell you right. Then I started switch sticking. I don't know why. That was an accident. My controller's a little bugged. Okay, so I like that he reacted, but come on. Like, that's what we want. We want the reaction. It's just maybe, yeah. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like him coming all the way over. All right. Okay. And then I'll just be cognizant of anything short and anything coming in. Basically, I have this whole triangle. I might try to draw a triangle in this area. Like, this whole area is like mine. Right. Okay. Beautiful. That's what we want. That's what we want. That is what we want. One more. One more rep. Let's see if we can get 3 good reps. Yeah, I might actually just more base out of this. Alright, this is just the adjustment. Okay. Yeah, we're there. And yeah, okay. One more. Okay. Show blitz. Right. So ideally, like, I wouldn't actually play this coverage if I see goal line. I'd probably just play like man to man, because I trust my coverage defenders to keep up with these guys. But I might actually also play this. Okay. That one's open. Beautiful. Let's end it on a pick. Love it. Love it. Right. So they ran a mesh concept here, right? It's goal line. There's only so many things you can run with the goal line. So here I play it like, okay, I'm trying to stop the run. Bam, react. Actually, if it was goal line, I would put this guy in the flat, and then I would still be the linebacker. I would let the safeties kind of, stay over the top, because sometimes the way to beat like a goal line defense is to throw it in the back of the end zone, and that's why I like having these 2 safeties still in their deep zones, in their like inside quarters, because they defend the back of the end zone, and then I'm basically daring them to throw it to the hardest spot in the field, which is the corner of the end zone. The corner of the end zone is the hardest spot, and even then, my corner, if he's good enough, if he's athletic enough, he can get back there, even in a hard flat. So I would put him in I'd put my corner here. No, it's not the corner. I'd put this guy, Okuda, in a hard flat, and then I'd also put him in a hard flat, and then we'd have basically, it would be up to him to basically, hit one of these areas, because you could throw like a spacing concept, but like mesh, all those mesh routes, like, that's basically dead when as soon as you play underneath coverage. Like, mesh is pretty much dead unless you've got impeccable timing, and if you've got like a play action, then I took away that. Anyways, okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into like super specific things that beat this coverage and how we would adjust to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to controller. Okay, I'm gonna go back by self-control, accept. Okay. Resume. Alright, we've resumed. Okay, let's see. We'll go to cover 4 drop. So there's some adjustments we'll be making. And again, we are reacting to the defense, to what the offense gives us. Ideally, we want to stay in this. We want to stay in this kind of defense. One thing they can do, and I'll just do it by concept. I'll even just do it by concept. Because, I mean, you can... I don't know what offense you're going to be running. So, flood, even against spot drop coverages, flood is always, like, the easiest way to beat these types of defenses. Let me see if I can find a good flood. Or maybe I'll have to make one. I'll maximum with the way I'm running it, right? So... And I'll just show it. It'll make more sense in replay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hike it. I mean, even then, that's also what I like about this defense is that even then, it's still hard for them to do this. Maybe if I stem him down, he might. Oh shit! Well, it's still same thing. Okay. Right, and that's why I like having that curl flat there and not hard flats. I hate hard flats. I will make you throw it to. You will throw it to that zig 10 times out of 10 times. I will not let you throw that corner. I want to make you throw that corner. I want to trap. I basically want to trap the flats. That's where I want to get my pick sixes. I want to make you feel safe. I want to send pressure at you. And then make you think that your security blanket is that flat because you don't have time. So I'm gonna send like if I'm defending the flat, I'm basically sending pressure. I'm only doing that one because I've seen people like I've seen players online. It's a different offensive philosophy. I could never understand it, and that's what I like about like having this outside third whatever. And also, actually, why having those corners, having them, what am I trying to say? Having these corners in like an outside quarter. One, they react to this stuff way quicker. Two, they also, if you're showing blitz, like if this guy is like pressed up here, he's basically running at the same speed as this guy. So he's going to be like closer. So let's just say, right? So let's just, let me just show it. I'm trying to explain things without like showing it. Let me just, and I'll just put him in a hard flat for now. Like I'll just coverage underneath. I need to buy a new controller. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do, oh my God. Right, I'm going to do something like that. And I'll just get him out. So I'll go ahead and just grab it. Okay, in that case, he didn't react. But let me see if I can show you what I'm trying to say in replay. So let's just say you have like a zone KO guy or like, like a deep zone KO, right? He would react. Like he throws this. He didn't react. Like, I don't like that he didn't react. Maybe it's because he's off. Maybe it's better when they're off. But essentially, right, he's in the window, right? Because they're all running at the same speed. So he's running. They're like, he's right here. Whereas if, like, he's off, he starts to, like, backpedal, drift. So the spacing for this, he should react. I'm going to do that again. Maybe it's just like a ratings thing. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Coverage underneath. And do that. Alright. That's kind of what we're going for. Maybe off is better. Maybe I'm kind of figuring things out as I'm doing this. So maybe off is better. Maybe off is better. So I'm gonna go underneath. Oh, sorry. Underneath. I'm gonna play them off. I'm just gonna see which one's better. It's off better. kind of, right? But you can see, like, this is, I mean, this is what Flood is supposed to do. Flood is supposed to, it's supposed to put this defender in conflict. And I mean, ideally, this guy is shuffling. He sees that, he breaks, but he's so late to breaking on the ball. That's the problem. But he is there on the catch. So there's a point. There's a chance that he drops it. You know, there is a chance. If I wasn't playing with these guys in like 5-yard hooks, maybe he carries this a little bit more. So I'm gonna go back to default. I'm actually gonna go. Can't see it now, but he is on a corner. You know, Madden play art being Madden play art. It's always gonna bug out, but he's on a corner, right? Yeah, see, that's Miles' 5-yard. He doesn't. So you can, as you can see, he's getting beat. That's the moral of the story. You know, if you play underneath, moral of the story, you play underneath, they can kill you with Flood. Right. That's the weakness of spot drop. They can kill you with Flood. I mean, even on the backside, actually we have both here. They can kill you on they can kill you there, and they can kill you here as well. All right. So you know, he can throw. It's basically high low here, high low when as these two run across the field, high low on this defender. And if I don't carry, like say this was the user and this is me, then you also have this high low. Like it's like you're in conflict either way, and that's why I like being on the weak side user, because then if I know where his depth is, then I can basically just carry the shallow, or I can carry the deep. So occasionally, at first, I'm gonna try and take away the deep, right? So these guys are just over the top. They're extra safety. They're basically just, you know, keeping everything in front of them, right? Just in case there's an errant ball or, I don't know. You know, you have 4 deep, right? It's like super safe defense, right? So he can throw that. He can throw either of those. So actually, I'll just go ahead and show you with the ball, right? Right. I can throw R1, throw X, right? I kind of forced it there. I should have just thrown the R1. I was trying to just kind of demonstrate something to you that, like, yeah, that's why I, as the user, would be this player. I'll just make sure I make you check the ball down, and then we just rally, and then we adjust the next play. But the moral of the story is against Flood, you're against like there's a lot of concepts that can beat 4 underneath defenses, right? Even if I was like 5 under, like it's 5 under, you still have this problem with the Flood area, right? So then that's where I go to my first adjustment, which is not here. Okay, let's go to our first adjustment. So it just depends on how I probably should set my audibles. See part 2 for how we will address the weaknesses in cover drop 4 and other drop coverages.